Hi there. Thank you for taking part in Project Siesta and for watching this video, which is in preparation for Family Session 1, which you very likely have scheduled with somebody from our Project Siesta team. Just going to go through these slides and just remind us first, what is Project Siesta? Well, Project Siesta is a program to help students who live in cities get better sleep by learning healthy sleep strategies. And in this presentation, I'll be sharing some important information about healthy sleep for children and teens. And when we come to your home for that family session, your child will share what they are learning in their group sessions, and we will help you set some sleep goals together. So why is sleep important? Well, it's important for a lot of different reasons. It helps with mood. So sleep actually helps us kind of feel better with our emotions and our mood. Okay. When we sleep well, our bodies are more able to repair injuries, and it gives us more energy to perform at our best, whether it's in sports or on the playground or, anything that we want to do. Sleep actually helps us remember things better. So when you sleep, that's the time that your brain is using to kind of store the memories of things that you've learned and experienced during your day. It helps with muscle growth, and it helps you pay better attention in school, out of school, and it helps with your immune functions. So when you're sleeping well, your body is more able to fight off germs and stay healthy. And your age affects how much sleep you actually need. Okay, so at different ages, your body needs different amounts of sleep. 11 and 12-year-olds need about 10 hours of sleep at night, at least 10 hours of sleep a night. 13-year-olds need at least 9 hours of sleep a night on average. And this may come as a surprise to many people, but 60% of middle school students are not getting enough sleep. Okay, so this is why we have Project Siesta, because we want to try to help middle school students get the best sleep that they can. Well, what happens when you don't get enough sleep? It affects a lot of areas of your life. Your moods and relationships might not go as well as they otherwise could. You might be more sad or irritable. You might have more problems getting along with family and friends. And it might just be harder to cope with the different stresses that come up in your life. In school, it might be harder to concentrate and remember things that you're learning. And so because of that, your grades might suffer. You might not do as well on tests and quizzes. And it might be that you have more school absences, that you're missing school because you're not getting enough sleep, and so you're not feeling well. When you don't get enough sleep, your activities can also suffer. So in sports and things like this, you might actually have slower reaction time. Your coordination might not be as good. You might be more clumsy. And in general, it might just be harder for you to stay alert. Okay, so how can we help your child or teen get healthy sleep? We're going to go over kind of three different areas where we can help our teens and our kids get better sleep. We can work on their sleep schedule, help them get a consistent sleep schedule, help them form good sleep habits and behaviors, and make sure that the space where they sleep is the best setup that it can be. So let's talk about consistent sleep schedule. Consistent bedtime so your child sleeps enough each night. Okay, so let's just make sure that your child or teen has a good schedule for getting to sleep on time so they can get that 9 or 10 hours a night sleep that they need to function at their best. So this means going to sleep and waking up at the same time every day as much as you can. And this means even on the weekends. So I know on the weekends, oftentimes kids stay up later at sleepovers or things like this, but trying to follow a consistent sleep schedule during the week and on weekends can really help your teen perform at their best. Okay, now we're going to go over some good sleep habits and behaviors. So daytime behaviors actually do affect your sleep. So in the time right up before bedtime, if you have some kind of relaxing bedtime routine, that can really help your body be ready to go to sleep. Limit the amount of caffeine that you are consuming, exercise, but not too near bedtime. Try to use your bed only for sleep, not for playing on your phone or playing video games or things like this for doing homework. Try to just have that bed be the space where, when it's time for you to go to sleep, that's where you go to sleep. Try to sleep in the same space every night, the same place when possible. Try not to use electronics 30 to 60 minutes before bed, and try to avoid naps during the day. Okay. It might be really hard for kids and teens to avoid naps during the day, but if you're getting good amounts of sleep at night, then you're going to be less tired during the day and less tempted to sleep, say, after school or things like this. What are some ways that you can keep awake after school or other times when you would typically be tempted to take a nap? Try to stay busy, try to exercise, drink cold water, take a shower, something like this, play or talk with a sibling or friend, avoid lying down. And then, like I said before, try to go to bed on time so you're getting at least those 9 or 10 hours of sleep a night so that you don't feel sleepy during the day. How to avoid caffeine. Caffeine can really affect your child's developing brain and body, and it makes it harder to fall asleep at night and get good quality sleep. Okay, so here are some common sources of caffeine. These are places where, caffeine is an ingredient that you really have to watch out for. Obviously, many sodas have caffeine in them, even diet sodas. So unless a can says no caffeine on it, it might very well have caffeine in it. Obviously, coffee and tea have caffeine in them, including iced tea and green tea and matcha, energy drinks, yerba mate, and some foods as well. Things that you can choose instead are things like water and milk, seltzer water, maybe with a splash of juice in it, caffeine-free sodas like Sprite, again, any sodas that say caffeine-free on the can or the bottle, and decaffeinated coffee or tea. Okay. And you want to check for caffeine on labels. And so see where this red arrow is pointing at caffeine on this Diet Coke can. So you want to check those ingredients for added caffeine and for natural sources of caffeine as well. And you want to look for sneaky words on packaging like energy or focus. Those are actually kind of code words for caffeine, and you want to stay away from those. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about limiting electronics use at night. So electronics can stimulate our brains and give off a blue light that tricks our body into thinking it's daytime. So when I talk about electronics, I mean computer screens, tablets, phones, smartwatches, things like this. They give off this blue light that can trick our bodies into thinking it's daytime and make it hard for us to fall asleep. We want to turn off and put away those electronics at least a half an hour to an hour before bedtime. And you want to choose screen-free bedtime activities instead, like reading, drawing, playing cards, quiet activities where you're not looking at a screen. And you want to remove electronics from the place where you sleep, right? Take them out of the room if you can. Avoid the temptation to be looking at all these different electronics or just have them in the room with you. So that means that maybe you want to charge your phone or charge your other electronics in a different place. So if you have a bedroom where you're sleeping or whatever room you're sleeping in, try to have those electronics in a different space. Or if they have to be in the same space, try to put them in a drawer or in a cabinet. And if you need an alarm to wake up in the morning, try using an alarm clock instead of relying on your phone so that it doesn't have to be near you when you're sleeping so that it doesn't beep and wake you up or tempt you to look at it. Okay, finally, we're going to talk about what we mean by a healthy sleep space. Okay, so when we talk about creating a healthy sleep space for your child or teen, these are the kinds of things that we mean. Make sure that where your child typically sleeps, it's a good temperature. It's not too hot, it's not too cold. So that means that depending on the time of the year, you might, in the winter, you might want to make sure that there's enough blankets. things like this. You want to make sure that there's good ventilation, good air circulation. You want to make sure that the sleep surface that your child sleeps on, whether it's a mattress or a futon or a mat, you want to make sure that it's comfortable for your child. And you want to do what you can to reduce noise and reduce light in the space where your child is sleeping. Sometimes that's unavoidable if you live in a crowded apartment or a crowded house or a lot of people around, or if there are outside noises that it's hard to avoid. You can try doing using what's called white noise. So some kind of low noise that's not distracting, not going to keep your child awake, but kind of masks other noises. So something like a fan that has a low hum can help to mask other noises that might be disruptive, or maybe you can get some soft earplugs for your child to wear when they're trying to sleep. You can also try to block out light. So darkness is really good for getting good sleep. So if you're able to have curtains or blinds on any windows in the space where your child sleeps, that's great. Or if you want to use a blanket over the window, that's helpful as well. And you want to make sure that you're turning off the TV or other electronic devices in the sleep space. And this is what we mean by a healthy sleep space to help your child's routine get the best sleep that they can. Okay, well, this concludes the preparation for family session 1 for Project Siesta. Thank you so much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you for your visit.